Marcus and Rachel grew up 2 blocks from each other in Columbus, Ohio, same public school, same graduation year, both got into Ohio State, both landed their first jobs in 2003 earning around $42,000, they dated briefly in college, stayed friends after, and even attended each other's weddings, and today Marcus is 43, he earns $118,000 as a marketing director. He drives a BMW on a 72-month loan. His apartment in a trendy part of Columbus costs $2,400 a month. His retirement account has $41,000 in it, and he has been meaning to figure out the money stuff for about 6 years now. While Rachel is also 43, she earns $74,000 as a school administrator. She drives a 4-year-old Toyota she bought used. She owns a small townhouse she has been paying down aggressively since 2011. Her retirement accounts total $387,000, and she has 0 credit card debt. And Marcus genuinely does not understand how this happened because he out-earns Rachel by $44,000 a year. He has for most of their careers. He is not irresponsible, he is not reckless, he just never learned the rules of the game he was playing, while Rachel learned those rules at 26 and has been quietly winning ever since. And this is Liana Invests. So if this kind of content helps you, please subscribe to the channel, and if you find this video useful, please hit the like button because it genuinely helps us reach more people who need to hear this. And now let us talk about where America actually stands right now, because the numbers are worse than most people realize. According to a 2026 Clever Real Estate survey, 29% of current American retirees have 0 retirement savings, not a little, 0. They are living entirely on Social Security, which pays an average of just $2,079 a month as of early 2026 according to the Social Security Administration. That is $24,948 a year, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics says the average household headed by someone 65 or older spends over $61,000 a year. Social Security covers about 40% of that, and the other 60%, which is roughly $36,000 a year, has to come from somewhere, and for most Americans that somewhere simply does not exist. Bankrate's 2025 Retirement Savings Survey found that 58% of working Americans admit their retirement savings are behind where they should be, 37% say they are significantly behind. Fidelity data from the end of 2025 shows the median 401k balance across all age groups is $34,400. The median, meaning half of all Americans with a 401k have less than $35,000 saved. A Schroders study from 2025 found that only 5% of American retirees described their retirement as truly living the dream, 20% said they were struggling or living a nightmare, and the rest were somewhere in between, surviving not thriving. And according to Northwestern Mutual's 2026 Planning in Progress study, Americans believe they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably, while the average person has a fraction of that. So the gap between expectation and reality is not thousands of dollars, it is millions. And the reason this keeps happening is not one mistake but a cascade of specific identifiable correctable mistakes that compound over decades in the wrong direction. And the first mistake is living inside the default. When Marcus enrolled in his company's 401k at 24, he clicked through the enrollment form and accepted the default contribution rate of 3% and never looked at it again. 3% of a career average salary of roughly $85,000 is $2,550 a year, and over 20 years, even with market returns, that produces somewhere around $115,000, which is not enough to last 5 years in retirement, let alone 30. And Vanguard's 2025 How America Saves report confirmed that while auto-enrollment has increased plan participation, the default contribution rate is typically set at just 3 to 4%, and only 61% of plans include auto-escalation, which is the feature that automatically raises your contribution rate each year. Without escalation, people get locked at the default forever, and the default becomes their entire retirement plan. So right now, if you are watching this, I want you to pull up your retirement account and check your contribution rate. If it is below 15%, increase it today. If you cannot jump to 15% immediately, increase it by 2% right now and set a reminder to do it again in 6 months. Because the difference between contributing 3% versus 15% over a 30-year career at average market returns is the difference between roughly $230,000 and over $1.2 million on the exact same job with the exact same salary. And the second mistake is the car. The average new car payment in America hit $767 a month at the end of 2025 according to Experian. Many Americans are now locked into 84-month loans on vehicles that lose 20% of their value the moment they leave the lot. Marcus's BMW costs him $810 a month while Rachel's used Toyota costs her nothing because it is paid off, and that $810 monthly difference invested at 8% average returns over 22 years is worth roughly $630,000, more than Rachel's entire current portfolio. The BMW is not a car, it is a retirement account driving in the wrong direction. And the third mistake is the housing trap. Banks will approve you for a mortgage consuming up to 43% of your gross income, and Americans treat that approval limit as a target instead of a warning. The result is millions of households where 30 to 40% of take-home pay goes to a mortgage, leaving almost nothing for retirement saving. Marcus pays $2,400 a month in rent, which builds zero equity and will never end, while Rachel's mortgage is $1,100 a month and has an end date, and the monthly gap between them over 20 years invested at 8% is worth over $800,000. And the fourth mistake is invisible spending. Research consistently shows Americans spend over $200 a month on subscriptions they cannot accurately name, another $280 on impulse purchases, and roughly $350 above baseline on food delivery and dining out. That is over $800 a month in spending that feels like nothing, but over a 35-year career invested at 8% grows to over $2.8 million, not from a high salary but from finding the leak and closing it. And the fifth mistake, and the deepest one, is never understanding compound interest until it is too late to use it. So here is the math that Rachel saw at 26 and Marcus still has not seen. If you invest $500 a month starting at 25 at 10% average annual returns, you have roughly $1.1 million by age 60. You contributed $210,000 over 35 years and the market added $890,000. But if you wait until 35 to start with the same $500 a month and the same returns, you only have about $380,000 at 60. You contributed $150,000 and the market added $230,000. The person who started 10 years earlier contributed more dollars but received nearly 3 times the market gains. 10 years did not add 50% to the outcome, it nearly tripled it. And every year you delay investing is not a flat loss, it is an exponential one, because the back half of the compounding curve is where almost all the wealth lives, and you can only access it by staying in the market long enough for the curve to bend. Now here is exactly how you fix it with 7 moves that are specific and replicable and work regardless of your income or where you are starting from. Move 1 is to get a number by using the 4% rule. Multiply your expected annual retirement spending by 25. If you want $60,000 a year from your portfolio, you need $1.5 million. If $45,000 a year, you need $1.125 million. Because without a target, you are saving into a void with no way to know if you are on track. Move 2 is to capture every dollar of your employer match immediately, because Fidelity reported that 88% of 401k participants had access to an employer match in late 2025 and on a $75,000 salary. Contributing 5% to capture a standard match is worth roughly $3,375 a year in free money that millions of Americans are silently refusing. Move 3 is to automate and escalate by setting your contributions to auto-escalate 1% every January and then automating a monthly transfer to a Roth IRA, where in 2026 you can contribute up to $7,000 annually or $8,000 if you are 50 or older, and money goes in after tax, grows completely tax-free and comes out completely tax-free, which is the best deal in the entire American tax code for long-term wealth building. Move 4 is to destroy high-interest debt first, because every dollar you pay in credit card interest at 22% is a dollar that could be compounding at 8% in your favor and paying off the average $6,500 in credit card debt, and redirecting the minimum payment to an index fund at 8% over 20 years produces roughly $88,000 that would have otherwise gone entirely to credit card companies. Move 5 is to protect the gap, which is where Rachel permanently separated from Marcus, because every time her income increased, her lifestyle stayed roughly the same and her savings rate went up while her spending did not. and by her early 40s she was earning $74,000, spending about $44,000 and investing the rest, while Marcus earned $118,000 and spent $111,000. And the Ramsey Solutions national study of millionaires found that 94% of millionaires consistently live below their means and only 31% averaged a six-figure income over their careers. They got wealthy on regular salaries by protecting the gap relentlessly. So when you get a raise, bank the raise, because if you survived on last year's income you can survive on it this year too, and the price of letting lifestyle expand to match income invested instead at 8% over 20 years is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Move 6 is to use catch-up contributions aggressively once you hit 50, because in 2026 you can contribute up to $32,500 to a 401k if you are over 50, and if you are between 60 and 63, the Secure 2.0 Act gives you a super catch-up, bringing your total potential 401k contribution to $35,750. These limits exist because lawmakers know most Americans enter their 50s behind, and this is a legally mandated second chance, so use every dollar of it. And move 7 is to delay Social Security as long as possible, because claiming at 62 permanently reduces your benefit by up to 30% compared to waiting until full retirement age, and waiting until 70 increases your benefit by roughly 8% per year beyond full retirement age. So for someone expecting a $2,000 monthly benefit at 67, waiting until 70 means roughly $2,480 a month for life, which is a guaranteed 24% raise with zero market risk. And let me show you what these 7 moves look like in practice for someone who feels behind. Take James, who is 41, earning $62,000 with $19,000 in his 401k and $7,200 in credit card debt at 20% APR and a car payment of $390 a month with 2 years left, and who feels like retirement is a train he already missed. But James has not missed anything, because he has 24 years until 65. So in year 1 he attacks the $7,200 in credit card debt by finding $280 extra a month through subscription cuts and reduced dining out, and the debt is gone in about 10 months, while simultaneously contributing at least enough to his 401k to capture the full employer match. Then in years 2 through 3 he redirects the eliminated card payment plus the extra $280, which is roughly $530 a month, into his 401k and a Roth IRA, and increases his 401k by 1% per year through auto-escalation, so that by year 3 his total savings rate is approaching 14%. And then in year 4 and beyond the car is paid off and he drives it 4 more years and redirects the $390 car payment to investments, so that James is now investing over $900 a month across his retirement accounts. And at 8% average returns over the remaining 21 years his portfolio grows to approximately $730,000. And adding Social Security at full retirement age of roughly $20,000 per year means James is pulling in around $49,000 a year in retirement. He is not rich, but he is secure and he has options. Now contrast that with James doing nothing at all: default settings, no debt payoff, no redirected car payment, and he arrives at 65 with roughly $180,000 and a Social Security check, and at the 4% withdrawal rate, that is $7,200 a year from savings plus maybe $20,000 from Social Security, totaling $27,000 a year, and in 2026 dollars, that is not retirement, that is survival mode with no exit. And the difference between those two outcomes is not luck or income or intelligence, it is 7 moves executed consistently over time. And the clever real estate study found that 51% of retirees have no plan if their retirement savings run out, and 43% said they would prefer to die than outlive their money. And that is not a financial statistic, it is a human tragedy disguised as a spreadsheet, because every single tool required to prevent that outcome is already in your hands right now. The accounts exist, the employer matches are sitting there unclaimed, the compound interest curve bends for anyone who stays in the market long enough. And what is missing is not the tools but the understanding of when to use them, because money is completely unforgiving about timing. You can start with a low income and still retire wealthy, you can carry debt for a season and still recover, you can make mistakes along the way and come back, but you cannot get time back. The years you do not invest are years the curve was flat when it could have been bending. Marcus and Rachel started on the same block in the same city in the same year, and one of them will retire with freedom while the other is still figuring out where his money goes. Same starting line, same economy, completely different outcomes. And the math was decided not by a single dramatic choice but by the small boring consistent ones made in the years when it felt too early to matter. It is never too early and it is never too late to start, but it is always better to start today. And if this video helped you see something differently, please like it because it genuinely helps more people find this channel. And if you are not already subscribed to Liana Invests, please subscribe right now because we upload every single day breaking down exactly how money works and how regular people can use it to build real security. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now.